Hi, I'm Olly Knights. I'm a singer-songwriter from the UK. I'm also in a band called Turin Brakes, and I'm a solo artist, and I write a lot of music with lots of different people, and this is my Dime Online Masterclass. I met Gail, who's the other sort of main half of Turin Brakes, really, and I met him in primary school when we were 7 or something in 1984, and we very quickly discovered guitars together, and a real love for things like Chuck Berry. Weirdly, my dad was obsessed with Chuck Berry when I was a kid, and it was very exciting to me, and I would sit in the back of his car and listen to all this amazing, not just guitar work, but his stories in his songs. You know, he just wrote. Chuck Berry is an incredible songwriter, and that was very inspiring. So me and Gail decided that we wanted guitars and we wanted to do this thing. And then we spent about, up until we were 18, kind of just, it was just something we did. We recorded kind of stuff on 4 tracks. We jammed for hours and hours and hours and hours. Fridays and Saturday nights for us were all about getting together with a few of our mates, a load of guitars, some various alcoholic substances, and play. You just come up with stuff, jam, come up with songs, anything. Sometimes it was amazing, sometimes it was rubbish. It didn't matter. I went off to film school thinking that was kind of what I was going to do. I went off to Central St Martin's to study film and video, which was a kind of fine art course. And in the course, I needed to create some soundtrack stuff for my own films. And I thought, well, instead of, there weren't such things as internet sound libraries at this point. It was kind of just before that all kicked off. So I didn't really know how to get original music. And it was like, for especially really specific stuff. So I turned to Gail and said, can we just kind of do a load of recording, mostly just abstract sound stuff, but maybe we'll throw a few songs in there as well. And we did a whole load of recording on this 4-track, and it kind of just developed. Like there was a side to it that was very film soundtracky, and I used it. But during making it, we were coming up with all this acoustic, kind of really ambient, sort of beautiful acoustic guitar music. And on one of them, I woke up one morning and I had these words in my head for it, and I thought, I'm just gonna, sod it. I'm just gonna sing this song over this piece of music that we'd made. And that became The Door, which was the first song Turin Brakes ever released on a thing called the Door EP. And it found its way through a friend to a guy who had a little record label, and he heard it and really wanted to release it. So all of a sudden, there we were sort of dealing with this idea of putting out an EP. The next thing, we started to get offered record deals, and we hadn't even played. We weren't a band. We were just friends messing around. We hadn't considered the idea of taking it as a career. So we're under quite a lot of pressure. We just decided, okay, let's learn how to do this live. We've been playing it in our bedrooms forever. Why can't we just do that on stage? So that was the mentality we had, and we just jammed, and we started writing more material and recording it. People really liked it, and we took a deal in the end. We finally found one, and we made our first album called The Optimist LP, and it got nominated for a Mercury Award, and luckily for us, sold really well and was really popular. And I don't know, that was 16 years ago, and we're still making a living out of music, which is, to me, is like a dream come true. We're not millionaires, but we're making a living out of doing what we love, and I can't imagine anything better. I was inspired by artists from like the Laurel Canyon kind of 70s, late 70s Laurel Canyon era of singer-songwriters like Joni Mitchell, especially Joni Mitchell, because I discovered I discovered my parents' vinyl collection when I was, I don't know, about 8. In fact, my older sister kind of discovered it, and then I discovered it through her. And I just thought, what is this? What are these people singing about? It kind of sounds like it sounds real to me, and that's all. I didn't really understand what they were singing about, but I kind of felt it emotionally, and I've always sort of been influenced by that area of the singer-songwriter kind of genre. It doesn't mean I like all singer-songwriter genres. Some of it, because I love that so much, I kind of hate other aspects. I hate other eras because it's not the same, and I have very specific tastes for some reason. But yeah, mostly from that sort of period. I get my inspiration for writing by picking up a guitar and messing around. I think to write you have to have moments of peace and quiet in your life, which is hard when you have kids and stuff. It gets harder, but you almost need like traditional boredom time but with a guitar hanging around. And then I mean, some of my friends, like I know great guitar players, and I work with one of them, who they'll pick up a guitar and play it for the love of playing the guitar. I've never really been like that. I've always picked up a guitar and immediately wanted to write. That's kind of what I get inspired by, is like if I find a sequence of chords, if I'm gonna get inspired, it's because they're making me want to write something. And it's always been like that. I mean, I think I've been doing that since the first time I picked up an instrument, which was, I was probably about 8 or something, you know. I've always been trying to create some kind of a story. The process that I use is, I guess it's kind of always been the same, really. It's very simple. It's kind of like I was saying, I sit around, I try stuff out. Sometimes I know it's not going anywhere, and I just put the guitar down and forget about it. And other times I have this feeling like what I'm doing is important for some reason. But it's always been the same. It's only recently that in the last few years that I've been kind of co-writing with other people that I've kind of opened myself up to other influences, which has been kind of interesting. I still write alone. For my band, for Turin Brakes stuff, I start off on my own, and then I kind of take my ideas to Gail, my musical partner. But for co-writing, I walk into a room often with someone I've never met before, and my partner Gail, and we kind of shake hands and start writing a song, and it's like, it's absurd really, but it's amazing. You can be complete strangers, barely know each other, and you can still write the most amazingly heartfelt, kind of honest song if the chemistry's right, and you can do that within a few hours of meeting each other, and that still amazes me, you know. Also, on the other hand, you can know someone for years and not get a word out because it's just the chemistry, just for whatever reason it's not there, you know. I always think of myself as the Woody Allen of songwriting, which is I'm essentially writing the same song in different ways. I've been doing that for about 30 years. I've never admitted that before. So it's you're always applying your thing to whatever situation you're in. It's difficult to explain, but I sort of feel like everyone has their thing, you know. Everyone has their hook or their thing that they get excited about, but you need to be able to apply it. You need to be able to kind of survive the peaks and the troughs with what you're doing, and also I work with a guy who sets up. It was originally my publisher, who's no longer my publisher, but just a friend, but who kind of manages my writing side of things, and he's great because he sets up he sets me up with people he thinks it's going to work with, and I trust him. And it's actually nine times out of 10 it does work. And even if it's sometimes I'm thinking, what the hell has he put me in with this person for? You know, we're not gonna relate, because musically maybe we've come from, you know, we're poles apart. But more often than not, it's amazing. You know, you just realise that music is simple and everyone kind of gets it. You know?